Hey guys, welcome back to the FPL xGod podcast for the Game Weekly OD of XG. So, after Game Week 1, I'm pretty happy with my rank. I have a top 80k right now, and most of the people who are in front of me have used their chips like a triple captain or bench boost and stuff like that. So, I'd say I'm pretty comfortable, and I had a great first week. The only regret I have is my last second change. I took out Said Benrahma, who scored a good 12 points, and I brought in Harvey Barnes, who got me 3 points, and it cost me an extra 1 million. That was my last second change, and I deeply regret that. But given like what I thought about Barnes and what I thought about Benrahma, I take that because of the next 2 or 3 fixtures. So if you look at this, like West Ham and Leicester are playing each other, I think I'd rather have a Leicester attacker in that game. And then Norwich is a beautiful, beautiful game for Harvey Barnes. So I'd stick with him for now. Bruno and Salah obviously killed. I'd still take Salah as captain over Bruno because I expect more of Salah against a Norwich rather than a Bruno against Leeds. Antonio missed a penalty but got 13 points. Wilson scored a goal. Sarr scored a goal. Greenwood scored a goal. And I got a Liverpool double clean sheet. I'd really take 108 points if you asked me before the first week. Pretty happy with that. And yeah, no regrets. As for the leagues and stuff I'm part of, about 3 bigger podcast leagues like Andy's Let's Talk FPL, Dan's FPL Mate, and FPL Wire, which is hosted by Zofar, Abu Bakr, and Late Riser. So yeah, those are 3 leagues I'm part of, and obviously my the Athletic League and the Fantasy Football Hub League. Other than that, the ones these are the ones like that, my personal leagues and ones with friends. I'm pretty comfortable in those, but the one I really care about this year is my personal league. Over 350 people have joined this free-to-play league. The league code is on top over there. It's a 1SUCKS5C. And yes, this is a free-to-play league where you actually win prizes. If I still haven't decided what the exact prizes are, but I'm leaning towards having a Manager of the Month award and a final top 3 prizes instead of having just a top 10 prizes in the end. Other than that, I think I've had a great start, and there are a few things I would like to talk to you about for Game Week 2. But before that, let's look at some FPL general talks. So FPL Connect was very nice to me, and they added me to a content creators league. This is a chance for me to grow and show how good I can be with my thinking or whatever. But yeah, I'm pretty happy. They let me be a part of this. I'm currently 18th. I'm not. This is actually way better than what I expected among the vast majority of FPL creators everywhere. So I'm really happy with this. But the thing that actually is making me happy so much is FPL Mate. So you might have seen his videos. You obviously have seen his videos about how he's talking to 100 FPL experts and trying to create the stats and how FPL experts do versus how the normal FPL casuals do and the vast majority of FPL does. I think that's a great concept, and I wish I thought of that earlier. But yeah, great work by him, and I'm so proud to get featured on it. Just be called an FPL expert. Yes, I clickbaited you. I am an FPL expert now. You can come to me. You can subscribe to me without fear. You will get all your FPL needs over here. So yes, thank you, Dan. Thank you, FPL, for giving me this opportunity to be a part of this community. And yes, I will try and make sure I do what is required of me, what the subscribers demand, and finish top 10k. And to do that, we will move on to what FPL Game Week 2 requires of me. Moving on for Game Week 2. So my team for Game Week 2 over here will be literally exactly the same as my Game Week 1 team. I am not changing any of my playing 11, not making any transfers, and keeping the same captain. The only change is my vice captain moves from Antonio to Bruno, just in case Salah doesn't play, but we all know he will. There are many reasons why you might think about Bruno over Salah for captaincy, and I totally get that. But for me, Salah is the more attacking player, and he will have my captain's armband. Yes, there are many data sets you can take to sway your decision and convince yourself, but got to be on you, the decision. Like, for example, Salah doesn't have the best record against Burnley. He hasn't ever scored in game week 2 of any previous season. Yeah, he's got points, but he's never scored a goal. I personally don't care about those stats as much as how Salah was in the first game, and I liked him. I will stick to him. Yeah, I personally am not making any changes, but I'll talk to you about like some possible changes you can look at. We will sort it by transfers in and transfers out, so you get a better idea of what you can think about doing and what potholes to avoid. So, as I've mentioned before, I will not make a keeper change till my first wildcard is active. I will stick with the Brighton clean sheet as my keeper. As for the defense, yes, one stat that you really should be thinking about is Kieran Tierney, Azpilicueta, and Marcus Alonso were the top 3 defenders for most touches in the opposition box. Yes, Tierney's things will sustain because he is a starter when he's fit. As for Marcus Alonso and Azpilicueta, you cannot guarantee that. It's basically that for any Chelsea clean sheet. Maybe Azpilicueta and someone like a Rudiger might be safer, but I'd still personally not risk it while the fixtures are bad. Shimikas is a good one, but I would not go for him right now. Yes, he's the most transferred in defender right now, but I think that's a pothole. He is playing a maximum of 1 or 2 games. The second one's Chelsea. And I would not recommend someone going for him when Robertson is so close to coming back. Tottenham look like a good defense. You can definitely go to Reguilon because Doherty does not look like he's close to starting. So the left wing back is Reguilon and you should go for that. Castani is fit again, so I'm not too sure about Ricardo Pereira. And Brentford defense is good. Deco Henry plays as a wing back, so he's a good option. Especially when you compare him to someone like a Canos, who's listed as a midfielder and plays the other wing back position. As for midfielders, Pogba's already gone up in price, but I want to see a little more of him before I jump on the Pogba bandwagon. I already have 3 United players, so I'm not too keen on jumping onto Pogba. As for Jota, I wouldn't recommend going for him this week because I think Bobby Firmino will start over him. But as you might have read, there's a lot of reports talking about how there are red flag countries for the international break, and players that play for those teams or is playing away in any of those countries will struggle to get back for game week 4 and maybe game week 5. That's why Jota looks primed to start in the Leeds and Crystal Palace game, and he's a cut price entry into the Liverpool attack. I'd definitely be looking into him after removing Shimikas. But those are future transfers. If you want someone for this week, I would definitely recommend Said Benrahma if you have that price point around. He's already gone up in price, but apart from the Leicester fixture, the Crystal Palace and Southampton fixtures look prime. I think he's a great candidate for those. And as for strikers, I love Wilson and Antonio, but the one striker I feel is going to absolutely kill this week is Danny Ings. He plays a Newcastle side which is without Dubravka or Dalot, and we saw how bad Woodman was. Okay, no, that's a little too harsh on him, but he's not something like a Dubravka. So I think Danny Ings will run riot for that game. As for other players that I do not have this week but really want to go towards them is basically any Manchester City asset. They play Norwich City, which is just a great game for them. I think the last time they played them was like they scored 5 goals in 25 minutes. So anything can happen in this game. As for Manchester City assets that you can look at, Kevin De Bruyne did not train today, so I'm a little hesitant about that. Jack Grealish was a little too midfield for me in the first game. The only one I would really look towards is Mahrez or Gundogan because of the price point also. And Gundogan's been declared fit to play this game, so he's a good option. If I had a City player, I would not remove him at all for this week, and I'd risk the Pep Roulette and have the player against Norwich. And if you don't have one and you want to go towards one, I think Riyad Mahrez or Gundogan are the only ones I'd personally recommend. As for captaincy, we've already spoken about Salah and Bruno, but outside punts that you can go for, just looking at the fixtures, are Danny Ings. And Ivan Toney is an outside punt because of how average to bad Crystal Palace are. All Manchester City assets are great captains for this week, and United assets also should be great captains given they're playing a weak Southampton. As for other players, I wouldn't really lean into captaincy much, but it's a great game week coming up. I won't be making any transfers, but I'll talk about some transfers that you shouldn't be making, like transfers out. Keepers, I've already spoken much about them. Ben White's not too bad for 4.5. Like, you can keep him. His fixtures were bad to begin with, but they get better later on, so you can hold on to him. Chilwell should come back soon, so don't remove him. I absolutely do not understand why people are removing Luke Shaw. He's one of the best players, best defenders, attacking defenders in the Premier League right now, and an FPL grade. Dina is another one. Everton. You might have seen my Premier League predictions video. If you haven't, please go watch it. I've rated Everton quite low because of Rafa Benitez, but I think they put up some good numbers in the first game and they look sharp. So I think they aren't as bad as I was predicting. Other than that, Madison's fit. I don't really know why people are going out. Grealish has had a lot of chances in, but way more out. I get that. If you saw Grealish play, he wasn't the ball hogger he was at Aston Villa, obviously, and that's taking a toll on his points. But I think most of you who did well in the first game should be fine for your team for the second game. The only thing I see people really caring about is getting Said Benrahma in, and I think that's fair. You can also, I know many people went for a 1 week Kai Havertz punt. Obviously, that's gone now. You have to remove him. And I'd recommend, if you have money, go to a Mahrez or downgrade to a Mason Greenwood or a Gundo or a Said Benrahma. Other than that, I think this week should be fine if you had a fine first week. For others, I've talked about a few transfers you can make, and yes, that's what you should be looking towards. I would personally recommend saving a transfer at some point before the international break because you want to take some players in or out. After that, there'll be many injuries, some players not coming back on time and stuff like that. So having 2 free transfers then is a big weapon. Other than that, I think, this is my team. If there are any other changes, it will be posted on my Twitter. I also have an Instagram now. You can see the link. Please follow on Twitter too. It helps a lot. And let me know what transfers you're making down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe as usual. It helps the channel a lot. And yes, now as I'm officially an FPL expert, please do subscribe, please do follow, and good luck with everything. Thank you.